or even evidence that might contradict the accepted party line on Christian origins. In particular, he grew exasperated with the strained attempts to distance Christianity from the scrolls and the Qumran community. He insisted on the obvious connection between the two and suggested that connection might be closer than anyone had hitherto believed, or at any rate dared to suppose. The first major storm occurred in 1956 when Allegro agreed to give a series of 3 short talks on the Dead Sea Scrolls, to be transmitted on the radio in the north of England on 1623 and 13 January. It was clear that he intended to accelerate the tempo of scrolls research by injecting an element of excitement and controversy. I think we can look for fireworks, he wrote imprudently to John Strugnell, who was then in Jerusalem. That statement, as Allegro failed to appreciate, was bound to set alarm bells ringing in the Catholic-dominated scrollery. Obvious of this, he went on to say that recent study of my fragments has convinced me that Dupont Summer is more right than he knew. At the time, apparently, Strugnell was considering a career in the church. Allegro quipped I shouldn't worry about that theological job. If I were you, by the time I've finished, there won't be any church left for you to join. Allegro's first and second broadcasts attracted little attention in Britain, but the second was written up by the New York Times, which misunderstood and misquoted him, yet generated a flurry of debate. The third talk broadcast on 30 January was followed on 5th February by an article in the New York Times, which could not but cause a sensation. Christian basis seen in scrolls. The headline proclaimed, "The origins of some Christian ritual and doctrines can be seen in the documents of an extremist Jewish sect that existed for more than 100 years before the birth of Jesus Christ. This is the interpretation placed on the fabulous collection of Dead Sea Scrolls by one of an international team of 7 scholars. John Allegro said last night in a broadcast that the historical basis of the Lord's Supper and part at least of the Lord's Prayer and the New Testament teaching of Jesus were attributable to the Qumranians. The same article hinted at trouble to come, quoting a Catholic scholar as saying that any stick now seems big enough to use against Christianity, provided it could be used to dislodge belief in the uniqueness of Jesus, uniqueness of Jesus. Allegro, in fact, was beginning to trespass on very sensitive territory indeed. On 6 February, Time magazine ran an article entitled Crucifixion Before Christ. 2 days later, the Times reported that 3 American religious leaders, one Jewish, one Catholic, and one Protestant,